I'm Tanner DeLang,
I'm Cole Erie.
I'm Dakota Corzine.
and we're going to be talking about the three heroes of the North that you can see from the Northern Hemisphere.
The first hero that we're going to be talking about is Hercules, known as the Strong Man. He's the son of Zeus and Alcmene. He was ordered to perform his 12 labors for King Eurystheus, which connect to the 12 zodiac signs.
We also did Orion, who's the hunter. He's the son of Neptune and the nymph Euryale, and he fought the scorpion that Gaia sent towards him.
And the last one is Perseus, which is the hero, son of Zeus and Danae, famous for saving Andromeda from Cetus.
The first monster Hercules had to exterminate was the Nemean lion. This lion was invulnerable, so weapons were of no use. Hercules was finally able to strangle the lion. The second task was to kill the nine-headed Hydra. Hercules was able to complete this task by cutting off each head one by one and burning the neck with a flaming stump so the heads could not grow back. Next, Hercules was commanded to capture the boar of Erymanthus. To capture this beast alive, Hercules drove it into a snowbank where he exhausted it and then caught it in a noose. King Eurystheus next ordered Hercules to bring him the Ceryneian hind. The antlers of this deer were of gold, and his hoofs were of brass. After a year of effort, Hercules finally captured the deer. Hercules' next task involved the Stymphalian birds, which infested a lake in Arcadia. These birds were man-eating monsters. Hercules killed them with his poisoned arrows. The sixth task required Hercules to clean the stables of King Augeas. In only one day, King Augeas owned thousands of animals, so Hercules diverted the flow of two rivers to clean them quickly. The seventh task for Hercules was to capture the Cretan bull. Hercules was the only man to ever approach the bull. He was able to capture, bind, and then tame the beast and rode it back to King Eurystheus. Next, Hercules had to capture the horses of Diomedes. Hercules threw Diomedes to his own horses, who ate him alive and then became tame. Hercules' ninth task was to collect the girdle of Hippolyte, the queen of the Amazons. The only way to kill Hippolyte herself, and then take the girdle to King Eurystheus' daughter. The 10th task of Hercules was to capture the oxen of Geron. Geron fell to Hercules' poisoned arrows, and he was able to retrieve the oxen. Hercules' 11th task was to fetch the hellhound Cerberus. This was considered to be the most difficult of the 12 tasks. Hercules descended into the underworld and by sheer strength strangled the three-headed beast and dragged him by the scruff of his neck back to the king. The final task of Hercules was to fetch the golden apples of Hesperides. Only Atlas was able to enter the garden, so Hercules asked Atlas if he could get the apples for him if he took on the burden of the heavens on his shoulders. Atlas agreed and went to fetch the apples. In the end, Hercules' wife covered one of his robes with a poison out of sheer jealousy. When Hercules put on the robe, the poisonous blood began to devour his skin. In agony, he tore off the robe, and in doing so, also removed his own flesh. He prayed to Jupiter to ease the pain. A great cloud descended from the sky, the vault of heaven reverberated, fire and lightning bolts flashed, and Hercules was lifted to the celestial sphere where we can all still see him today.
There are multiple origin stories of Orion. Some involve being the son of a god, others involve him being the most handsome man in all of Greece, with the power to make even the goddess Artemis fall in love with him. The most well-known was him being the son of Neptune and the huntress Queen Euryale. Because of his skill in hunting, Orion was known to have a large ego and did not think twice to boast about his skill. Joined by his 2 hunting dogs, Orion conquered the most fearsome beasts in the land, with no one to tell him otherwise. The earth goddess Gaia did not believe that he could kill all of her creations, so to spite him, she conjured up a giant scorpion, which we now know as the constellation Scorpio. The scorpion and Orion fought, but in the end, the scorpion got the upper hand by poisoning Orion with its stinger. Orion, fatally wounded, sought the aid from Ophiuchus, the serpent holder, who had an affinity for medicine. Ophiuchus was known to have an antidote for that particular scorpion venom that could save Orion. This antidote allowed Orion to rise from the dead. which is why in the sky we see Orion rising in one part of the sky as the Scorpion sets on another, and vice versa. They are in constant battle for control over the sky over the seasons. After Orion's battle with the Scorpion, he went hunting with his lover, the goddess Artemis. Artemis's brother, Apollo, did not like Orion being with his sister and devised a plan to get rid of him. He asked Artemis to shoot an arrow at a black dot on the horizon, which he assured was just a rabbit. When Artemis did, the arrow flew past the dot and into Orion. Out of grief, she threw him into the heavens so that he could live on forever with his battle against the Scorpion.
Andromeda was the daughter of Cepheus and Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia boasted that her daughter was more beautiful than the Nereids, the daughters of the sea god Nereus, who often was seen accompanying Poseidon. Poseidon is the god of the sea and also Zeus's brother. Out of rage, Poseidon sent a sea monster named Cetus to attack the coast of Ethiopia and the kingdom of the queen. After talking with an oracle, Cepheus and Cassiopeia were told the only way to save their kingdom was to sacrifice their daughter to the sea monster. After hearing this, they chained Andromeda to a rock on the coast. During all of this, Perseus had just finished killing the Gorgon Medusa. He noticed Andromeda chained to the stone, and to save her, he used the helmet he used to kill Medusa, which made him invisible, to sneak up and kill Cetus. After killing Cetus, he freed Andromeda and then married her. Following the wedding, Andromeda followed Perseus to his native land, where he saved his mother, Danae. Perseus can be found in the night sky still holding Medusa's severed head.